Here is Milad, a young 14-year-old boy. And here is his family and his home. Milan loves football and often plays with his friends. But one day, war breaks out in his country. Danger is suddenly everywhere. Milad, like many others, loses everything he has and is forced into exile. Alongside thousands of others, Milad flees to a neighbouring country. Today, 86% of refugees worldwide are like Milad and seek shelter in developing countries. Firstly, he went to a refugee camp. Milad lived in a tent in an unsafe desert area, where he spent several years. Cut off from everything and totally dependent on humanitarian aid. Like most of these camps, the living conditions and safety conditions were poor. Then, one day Milad decided to leave, to go to the closest town, to regain a sense of normality, even though this was forbidden. When he arrived in the town, he again found himself helpless. He was now an invisible urban refugee. He had to watch out and keep a low profile so that he wasn't arrested by the police. He had no access to healthcare or education. He didn't have the right to work there. Therefore, he was an ideal target for local criminals who wouldn't hesitate to exploit him. The only way for Milad to escape this life is to find other refugees like him to help each other. But how are you meant to get yourself organised when you're illegal, when you don't have a good grasp of the language, and when you have limited means to deal with huge and pressing needs? This is when the Urban Refugees Incubation Programme comes in. We help refugee support groups to get set up, find funding, and to make themselves heard. The intensive training that we prepared should allow these refugee organisations to continually support the needs of their communities by helping them too. Find financial help for their projects by using tools like the internet. Gain status for their association. Create a website. Be present on social networks. Communicate better thanks to an SMS service called Up, which allows you to send messages to an entire group without the internet, and to make themselves heard, particularly in international events. Wherever these populations in exile are seeking refuge, they look to spontaneously regroup and get themselves organised. But they lack the almost systematic know-how to be able to do this effectively. This need for social infrastructure is so great that when we launched an appeal for applications for our programme, we received responses from groups in more than 15 countries worldwide.